Okay, I know there's a lot of content to present today, so let's go ahead and get started. Welcome to Create Connections and Build Loyalty with Ticketing and CRM. I'm Shaylee Walker and I'll be supporting today's showcase. A couple of mentions so that everyone's prepared for today's session. First, we have quite a mix of venue types with participants using a range of ticketing and CRM solutions. So although we'll be referencing performing arts centers throughout, the information presented today is really relevant for everyone on the call. Today's Zoom tool does have a Q&A feature, so for any questions, please submit them there. And if we're unable to get to your questions today, someone will be following up immediately. We do have a few polling opportunities, so we hope you'll participate. That way the panelists have an idea on the mix of CRM backgrounds joining us today. And to keep this light, we will be randomly selecting a winner during each poll, and the winner will get to choose between a Yeti tumbler or an Apple AirTag. And we'll reach out via email to each winner to collect your preferred shipping address, so be on the lookout if your name is called. And Wendy will be taking us through today's agenda, but first, I think we should kick it off with a giveaway. So, randomly picking an attendee, the first winner is Dana Harvey. Oh, Dana Harvey. Congratulations. We'll be in touch soon. And so with that, panelists, let's maybe go around the room and introduce yourself and share one thing you're excited about sharing today. Let's start with Wendy.
Hello, good day, everyone. I'm Wendy Inez. I'm the Director of Sales for Accesso for live events. I've been with Accesso for just over 15 years now, with a focus on performing arts and the nonprofits market. And honestly, I'm thrilled to present today alongside this great team with Salesforce and BlueGator to talk about the integrations to help enhance the guest experience for your patrons.
Yeah, and I'm TJ Christensen. I'm the co-founder and CEO of BlueGator. We're a Salesforce implementation partner, and basically what we do is we help connect ticketing with CRM and marketing for specifically for arts and cultural organizations, performing arts venues, zoos, museums, aquariums, so they can do wild and wonderful things with their data, which we'll get into later today. The one thing that I am most that I want people to kind of like take away from this is no matter the size of your venue, whether you're big or small, you can do it. If you have the right foundation in place, the things that you thought were never possible can become possible if you just get really focused on the use cases and how the connections of the systems come together, which we will kind of unpack in this session. So I'll turn it over to Mike.
Awesome. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you, TJ. Really excited to join you both today. I'm a lead strategic solution engineer on the Salesforce nonprofit solutions team. Been at Salesforce for about 4 years. Prior to that, I was at a science center for 20, where I actually got to use accesso solutions. I actually worked for another ticketing company for a while too. So arts and culture is my life, and really excited to join this group today and talk about how the combination of Showware and Salesforce can drive some tremendous value for your organizations. And I'd say the one thing I'm excited about is the idea of organizational transformation, because it goes beyond just ticketing and CRM. It's everything that your organization does, and giving you the power and the foundation to bring your teams together on a common platform. So it's easier to share data, to collaborate around opportunities, and to propel you forward. So again, thank you, and I'm looking forward to getting into our topics.
Wonderful. So let's start with just a quick overview of our agenda today. We'll start with identifying the problem that we're looking to solve, and we'll take a look at how we can make the data work for you and your organization. And then we'll get into a demo and see how all of this can work together. Click, please. Are we able to advance the slide?
Wendy, we are on, yes, go back one more. Yeah. Are you not seeing it?
There we go. So just exactly what problem are we looking to solve together? We're looking to create a seamless interaction with our guests, and ones that start with a positive ticketing buying experience. And that continues with a happy, engaged, loyal, and giving patron that's not just a customer, but truly a member of your venue's community. That rarely happens with just one engagement. What we need to do is to build and cultivate those long-term relationships from a single ticket holder, maybe even one that came as just a guest to another ticket holder, and move them up to a subscriber, to a member, create a valuable donor. And getting there means taking advantage of all of the touch points along the way with consistent communications that are based on the guest specific feedback across the full customer journey and life cycle. So as a brief introduction to accesso Showware for those of you who may not yet be familiar with the platform, and also as a way to sort of lay the groundwork for our discussion today around advanced features, we're going to highlight some of the ways that the accesso Showware product stands out in a crowd. The accesso solution is fully customizable, meaning your patrons are going to see your brand and your voice through a number of content management tools where you can do everything from promoting your events and performances. You can add imagery and descriptions, YouTube videos. You can even customize the landing pages with HTML enabled tools. accesso Showware offers unique upsell and cross-sell opportunities with custom promotions that are triggered automatically when a patron puts a ticket in their basket. And that's ideal to help promote ticket buyers to get them to upgrade to larger carts with bundles or packages that help increase value to your operations. We support gift card and alternative payment solutions like PayPal and PayPal Credit and CyberSource payments, which will include Apple Pay and Google Pay. And one quick compelling stat, nearly 10% of online ticket buyers will abandon their cart if they can't use their preferred payment method. So accesso can help drive sales with robust membership features that support member subscribers and VIP benefits. The platform supports dynamic pricing options that can help you capitalize on increased demand by automatically changing ticket pricing at specific times or even at specific inventory thresholds. And accesso Showware is very well positioned to handle high volume and high demand on sales with traffic throttling and virtual waiting rooms, and can provide advanced ticket and delivery management. And that includes everything from ticket transfer, which is just, allowing a customer to send a ticket electronically to a friend, or also utilizing delayed delivery to help manage fraud, but also supporting the secondary market functionality with Showware's ticket resale feature. Our clients enjoy total revenue control by setting and retaining all the customer fees. And remember, accesso will never dictate those fees to your end customer. And then lastly, along with supporting 90 plus standard system reports with all of the various filters and criteria, the platform provides powerful analytics and reporting needs to help drive data-driven decisions for your venue. As a brief introduction to accesso Showware, whom I am missing a line here. So along with that, we wanted to talk about future-proofing our ticketing partnership, and that starts with secure online sales. The platform is PCI Level 1 certified, and we can support a certified fraud prevention services. We also want to introduce you to the Ingresso ticketing distribution solution that allows live inventory sales across prime distributors like Groupon or Expedia or TripAdvisor or EBG. So anywhere that your customers are shopping, they're going to be able to find your tickets. We also can do those advanced payment solutions that we talked about, especially if people are not able to find their preferred payment provider. They may drop out of a sale, and we can support that through our accesso Pay platform, which supports Apple Pay and Google Pay. Many of our customers take advantage of our call center services. They're 100% patron funded. It's a fully white label experience, so they're answering those calls with your agent in mind. We can supply everything from customer support, order fulfillment, exchanges, and of course, answer questions and really be an extension of your box office. You may not be aware that accesso also supports integrated food and beverage and retail solutions through our accesso Freedom product. We can support self-service kiosks and grab-and-go service, and it's a great integrated product with Showware that can support things like membership benefits. And then one more mention about our professional services team. So we have a team that can support any kind of customized project and development. So we can do mobile app development. This is really key for any sort of one-off or time-sensitive or non-core type of development products. So a great internal team to help with any kind of custom projects as well.
Okay, that brings us to poll number 1. I'm going to go ahead and launch that here. And I hope y'all will participate. Okay, there we go. Take a minute. And while everyone's submitting their answers, we will draw our second winner.
I love this real-time engagement. This is
Yes.
terrific.
Give it a few more
And you
seconds.
can't win if you don't answer the question.
Okay, looks like we're slowing down, so I'm going to end the poll and share results with everybody. And winner number 2 is Steve Yenko. Congratulations, Steve.
Congratulations. Very great.
Okay. All right. You ready to continue?
I gotta say, it's great to see all of the CRM users out there. That's
sure.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, absolutely.
So kind of moving on with the accesso showware introduction as a base, I am very pleased to talk about the relationship that we have developed with BlueGator and Salesforce. We obviously recognize that customer engagement may begin with that great ticket buying experience, but the continued and seamless interaction with your guests requires more sophisticated touch. You need repeat customers that are going to bring their friends. You need those guests to increase cart values from single tickets to packages or help to purchase distressed inventory. And for our nonprofits in the audience, you need guests to give generously and pledge their support to your annual campaigns. You may want to engage tools from the marketplace around volunteer management, wealth, and donor engines, et cetera. And that's where we're going to see the incredible value of Salesforce and BlueGator as an integrated partner to ticketing. So what are some of the gaps that we're hearing from this market? You know, in many ways, reserve ticketing systems, not surprisingly, focus on ticketing as a core competency, not necessarily CRM. Or while there are some basic CRM features, they may feel inadequate or there's a lack of access to the types of data you need or potentially any actionable tools to help manage that data. Mike, I'd love to bring you in on this one. How do you feel about the gaps here and potentially all-in-one systems?
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head, really. All-in-one systems are aiming to achieve a difficult vision of being a one-stop shop for ticketing and for CRM and for other things. And it actually ends up being kind of a fallacy. They tend to stop short on feature depth and breadth on the ticketing side, and sometimes on the CRM side there too. So in reality, I view them more as platforms. And if we're going to think about them as platforms, we should also evaluate on ecosystem partners and integration capabilities. Are the APIs open for collaboration? And do they enable their customers to truly build and automate their processes on their platform? And the answers maybe yes and maybe no to some of those things. So, and that's why I'm excited to really talk about how Salesforce drives value for performing arts organizations by partnering with a suite of solutions that drive value across the organization. So our vision here for arts and culture and for performing arts specifically is to be able to bring organizations together on a deeply unified platform to improve stakeholder engagement, collaboration, both internally and externally, and drive data-informed decisions. And we do that by automating processes and unifying data from key patron touchpoints. The outcome of that is enabling your organization to drive deeper personalization, drive additional automation to get your staff out of those administrative weeds and really allowing them to do the job they're there to do, which is to drive mission fulfillment and engage with your patrons. Also, this platform helps you drive increased revenue by putting the right offer in front of the right consumer at the right time, and also driving collaboration to break down those silos in your organization. Because as I mentioned in the introduction, this is about more than just digital transformation. It's about organizational transformation and bringing teams together and automating what you can to free your time up to do other mission-aligned activities. But there's a barrier to achieving this. Typically, what we find when we speak to arts and cultural organizations who aren't on all-in-one systems, but this is also true for some who are, is that we see a number of systems in place to capture key patron information across events like donor events, retail systems, fundraising and donors, marketing and engagement, ticketing and membership tends to be a big one. And let's just pick on that one for a moment. We want to advance to the next slide. Pretty much everybody in your organization needs access to ticketing data to do their job. I think back to my time at the Science Center, I would use ticket sales to help forecast how many cashiers I needed, or if I needed to staff the membership desk or the information desk, right? This also has to go to membership and development, thinking about how to improve member and donor conversion, or increase visitation, drive deeper affinity and moves management, fuel major giving. And of course, sharing data with your marketing friends, right? Improving the timeliness of those offers. Because if marketing knows what consumers are buying when consumers have arrived, there's an increased opportunity there to really make those conversions in real time. And I think we all can agree, improved ticketing experiences are what we all want. Both as a consumer, I want it to be frictionless. I want to do it on my mobile device. I want as few clicks as possible. But also on the administrative side, it should be easy to manage your ticketing platform. It should be easy to administer and to run reports. And our combined solution helps you do that. But there's a whole lot more that organizations need to do. For example, you need to provide service to your patrons. You may be in the business of renting out costumes or using your space to host corporate events or weddings. You maybe have a volunteering base, right? And so truly only a robust platform will be able to solve all of these things and bring your teams together on a common solution. So let's take a look at what the Salesforce platform is for a moment. And this could be a whole webinar in itself, but we'll try to go through it quickly. It all starts in the cloud. So Salesforce has data residency around the globe. We have compliance with most things that you would find important around SOC and PCI, and you can go to trust.salesforce.com and see all of our compliance certificates that are up to date. Encryption and of course, security. Then on top of that, we have our industry common layer. And these are those pre-built components that all of our industries use. As you probably know, Salesforce serves more than just the nonprofit world. We've got, I think, 15 different pre-built industry solutions. And as a product, they all have some of the same underpinnings, which allow us to share across our industries and more rapidly innovate. Things that allow you to build guided processes to make staff more efficient in doing certain workflows, bringing in data from other systems, and of course, tracking relationships across your patron base. But of course, we also serve specifically nonprofits. So building on top of our industry common layer, we've got an amazing toolkit that drives robust solutions and gives capabilities to partners like TJ to truly transform how Salesforce works for your organization. And then out of the box, we've got these nonprofit specific solutions that are pre-built. Things like fundraising for individual giving, major giving, moves management, also handling IT operations and program management, and so much more. And then in terms of how you use Salesforce to engage with your patrons, we have this engagement layer that allows you to extend Salesforce functionality across all of the channels and the channel of choice for your patron, whether it's web, email, phone, mail, or in person. And then last but certainly not least, in terms of tools and builders that are native through Salesforce, is AI, right? So AI is throughout our platform across all of our industries, giving you capability to build prompts, build autonomous agents, give them access to the right data, knowledge, and permissions so they can work autonomously. But again, all grounded in trust and governance and auditing so that you know what's happening and can turn things off or modify things as needed. Now, there's a lot going on this slide. There's three things I want you to remember. Number one is that Salesforce is highly configurable. So out of the box with Nonprofit Cloud, you're going to have CRM, sales and service, fundraising capability, programs, and then easy to add in everything else, such as marketing and analytics. On top of that, the ecosystem is incredibly powerful. So pre-built partner apps that serve specific functions. And this is the power of having an ecosystem. So partners out there like Showware who bring to the table this rich ticketing functionality for not just performing arts and assigned seating, but also general admission and membership and donations. But we all need more than that. We need volunteering, SMS, auctions, retail, and more. And all that's available through our open APIs. And last but not least, a very strong community. So not only do we have excellent partners like TJ who can guide your success, we also have success plans through Salesforce. And then our Trailblazer community, we have 50,000 Trailblazers out there, and actually an arts and culture specific Trailblazer group to support your success. Chances are they've approached a challenge that you may be approaching in the future. You can research those and have them guide you towards success in a faster way. Now, I talked about ecosystem. Here are some of the common solutions that we integrate with from an arts and culture specific lens. So from the bottom there, imagine you're signing in to Salesforce Nonprofit Cloud. You're a user, and you've got ticketing data streaming in from Showware. So then you can act on that. And TJ is going to show you some of that in just a moment. But you also might need an online giving solution. We integrate with some of the top solutions out there that also can handle, donor seating for smaller events, robust auto renewals and online giving, also back office payments. And then, of course, all this data has to find its way into accounting. So we've got pre-built connections on our App Exchange for some of the common accounting systems. We also have a native accounting subledger solution that helps you format this data before it goes out to those systems. And then we have a suite of native apps across marketing, experiences, collaboration, integration, and analytics. And if you don't find something that you need there that's native, we also have 2,000 apps on our App Exchange with pre-built solutions. So really excited to bring this opportunity to the performing arts community. Excited to work with Showware on bringing this to fruition. And thank you again for the opportunity to be here to collaborate.
Thanks, Mike.
Okay, we've got our second poll. Just to add some extra context, these are a rating scale, 1 to 5. So for question 1, scale of 1 is you don't have much of any access to data, or 5, you have more data than you know what to do with. Question 2, same scale of 1 to 5, 1 indicating very little data is used for action, or 5, you can configure and glean information from your data. And let's look for our third winner.
As we're waiting for that poll to come in, I think we're getting into our demos next. And as you see what Showware has to offer and what TJ is going to be showing you on the Salesforce side, I want you to think about how much time you might be spending manually sharing data across the organization, or tracking your engagement, or bringing engagement data from different systems together. And the beauty of what you're going to see in this upcoming demo is how all of that comes together seamlessly in Salesforce across ticketing, marketing, and CRM.
Yeah, I think wrestling with data is the big theme, right?
Yeah.
Like how much is your organization wrestling with data on an ongoing basis? Yeah.
Okay, winner number 3 is Greta Erickson. So congrats, Greta.
Woohoo! Congrats.
All right. Well, it's my turn. So we're gonna talk about Alex Garcia, and we want to take a look at how everything we've talked about comes together first through the eyes of a patron before we go to the demo. So meet Alex. We're gonna follow Alex from discovery to purchase to cultivation. And when we find Alex, you can go to the next slide. When we find Alex, she's scrolling her Instagram account and comes across an ad for the BlueGator Theater and its upcoming production of Hamlet. Because Alex has purchased tickets to the theater through a secondary market, the theater was actually able to target her with an Instagram ad as someone that might be interested in this specific performance. So they were right. She's totally interested. So she goes and she hops on the website, and she gets a pop-up to save 10% if she opts in for email and SMS. So getting those opt-ins to be able to communicate with those folks in both channels is super important. It's a good give-get relationship. So she signs up, always looking to get the best deal. She gets an email with the promo code to buy, and shortly after enjoys a wonderful performance of Hamlet. You go to the next, you can skip ahead to the next slide. And the next slide. She's bought her tickets, has a great time, but where do we go from here? Well, if we have ticketing and CRM integrated and marketing, the theater can start to cultivate Alex into becoming a subscriber and donor. You can go to the next slide. Because we know that she likes Shakespeare, well, actually, sorry, before she arrives, she actually gets a pre-arrival message. So day of the performance, she gets an email that gives her information like when to arrive, when the doors open, stuff like that. So she doesn't want to show up too early. She also doesn't want to be there rushed. And then another good one is parking. Sometimes theaters, especially the ones that are in cities, knowing what parking garage is best to park at, or if there's road construction, things like that, you can deliver all those in relatively real time with these pre-arrival emails. And we can start cultivating her into a subscriber. Because we know that she likes Shakespeare, she gets an email about the upcoming series that, lo and behold, has an image of Shakespeare to drive her engagement and increase her likelihood of becoming a long-term subscriber. In addition, the organization is using well screening software, so they can, because all of this data is integrated with CRM, they can use well screening software and identify Alex as an ideal plan giver. So in the cultivation stage, Bill from the development office can reach out and invite her to coffee, and lo and behold, Alex loves what the theater is doing, is super involved in the industry, and becomes a supporter of their mission. So that's that's the story through the eyes of Alex. What we're going to do now is we're going to sort of turn around and show you how these systems pull together this experience. So I'll turn it over to Wendy to give us a quick overview of the showware platform and e-commerce purchase journey. Then we'll jump into Salesforce CRM and in Marketing Cloud.
Wonderful. Just checking you're seeing the demo screen now.
Yep.
Perfect. So this is just our demo application, but it gives us an opportunity to kind of take a look at that transaction for the Shakespeare's Hamlet. Here we have an event listing. We can pop in to purchase tickets. On this event landings page, you're seeing some of the content management tools here with the ability to add descriptions and YouTube videos. You're seeing our all new streamlined calendar format. I can see there's a Sunday show and there's actually a Sunday matinee that interests me, so I'll purchase those tickets. And when I come into a full venue map, I can see all of the seats that are available in my map. I don't have to click into section by section. I can also choose quick pick, so just the price levels, number of seats, and have the system choose for me. Or of course, I can dive into the map, and you can see that as I hover over any specific seats or sections, I'm seeing a view from a seat. I'll go ahead and grab a couple of seats here, and that populates over here on the right. I can change my ticket types at this point, or I can go straight to the cart. And we have one of our first upsells that's prompting here. So this is an opportunity to let them know about any relevant offer that might be connected to this performance. In this case, we're promoting a bronze membership. That sounds good to me because I can get a couple of tickets at a discount. So I'll go ahead and add that to my cart and continue. And now that I have this art membership in my basket, I can actually take advantage of that benefit. I can get my member allocations for discounted price. I can choose to take it. I have up to 2 of them. I can take both of them at the same time. Maybe I want to take advantage of a coupon that I've heard about. The coupon code is coupon. Let me unlock that. And that can also apply an Instagram promo automatically. So if I think that's a better deal, or I want to take one of my member allocations along with the discounted coupon, I can take all of that together. And just know that the system is smart enough that if I were to remove my membership that I just added, it would also remove access to those member discounts. We'll go ahead and proceed to checkout. And here you have, of course, the opportunity to decide how to authenticate your users, whether you want them to come back in with a username and password, perhaps they log in just using a Facebook account, create a brand new account, or we could just go to a guest account kind of checkout. I'll just go ahead and log in here. And that's going to take us to our secure checkout where I can choose my delivery method. And of course, there are some strategies there for putting fees on delivery methods to encourage them to take the method you prefer. Number 2 is protect my purchase. We do support ticket insurance through our partnership with Fan Shields. I'm going to decline that for the moment. Step 3 is payment. We are showing a little bit of the bells and whistles here. So we do have an integration with gift card that can be utilized both online and offline with a unique gift card number. Or I can go ahead and enter my credit card number and I'll use that payment. Finally, we're seeing a roundup donation offer, so I can tie any kind of membership fund or campaign to the roundup right here in the basket at the last chance to ask. And we do see that a lot of folks actually round up in values larger than just the next dollar. You've also got the opportunity to create a How Did You Hear About Us collection, so we get the best information about our ROI on those marketing efforts. And just to recap, you've got all of your information here on the right side, my membership, my discounted tickets, my $5 give to the Performing Arts Fund. And we're going to go ahead and place the order. Final screen just gives us an opportunity again to sort of customize the messaging here to our patrons. We can do a social media share on Facebook or X. We can provide any custom information about thanking them for their purchase and looking forward to seeing you, or promote any kind of additional offers or performances or events that are coming up at our system. So that really is just the basic overview of the first part of the guest experience, right? Placing that ticket order. And we're going to kind of see what goes on from there. I'm going to stop share and let TJ come back to it.
Yep. There we go. All right. So now what does this start to look like in Salesforce? So here we're in Alex Garcia's account, and I want to orient you with a few things. So one, we can see her Shakespeare Hamlet purchase that came in here on her show where order timeline. But we can start to see some information that we're sort of learning about Alex as time goes on. So we have her name and her phone number and email. You can see that she's been flagged as a secondary market buyer, and I'll show you how that happens here in a minute. And she's also been identified as an ideal planned giver as well. We're also able to take some information from the showware system and sort of roll that up to the account level and service that for the folks at the box office. So we can see her last performance, we can see the last event that she purchased, last performance category, and her total spend in the last 12 months. And then some other information about her address. Now, if we look at her orders, we can start to see what she's purchased. So we can see she's bought the William Shakespeare's Hamlet. We can also see back in September, she bought, actually from Wendy, she bought tickets to the Nutcracker Suite, and that's how we targeted her on that Instagram ad. You know, we talked about cultivation as well as part of Alex Garcia's story. So if we go to the notes and files, we can see an interaction summary here where Bill, our development manager, met with Alex to talk about a historical renovation project that the theater is doing. And she was super excited about it. You know, I'm sure this goes this way all the time when you meet with donors for the first time, but she gives you $1,000 and she's interested in donating more because she's super involved in the space. And what Bill's done is when he's come back to the office, he's filled in the information that he's learned about Alex. So if we look at her relationships, we can see that she has a daughter named Ariel now, and she's got a husband named Richard. And oh, she works for accesso Showware as a marketing manager. And she's the member supplier board chair at Intix and Give Kids a World volunteer. So you start to get a sense of who Alex is and how she engages across all sorts of relationships, right? This is just sort of the tip of the iceberg. In addition, we can start tracking gifts. So we can see her total gifts were $1,000 so far. Her last gift date was in March 11th. We can see her gift commitment that came in and her opportunities, right? So we have our renovation donation down here as closed one. We've also got an end of year contribution that we're targeting at $10,000 to come in as part of the year-end giving. And we can track the initial transaction that she brought in and map that to different GL codes and all that kind of stuff for accounting reconciliation down the line. So that's a high level overview of the actual constituent record. Now, if we take a step way back at a macro level and look at how we can segment Alex or folks like Alex and bring them along that marketing journey, we're going to sort of look at Marketing Cloud now. So just to orient you in Marketing Cloud here real quick. So up top, we've got a lot of different things. We're not going to go through all of these, but we've got our studios over here. So email studio, where you can do your emailing, mobile studio. So if you've got a mobile app or you're doing SMS, that's where you're configuring all of those. Advertising studios, where you can create audiences like that Instagram audience to be picked up by Meta and be surfaced. Web studio to create landing pages, and personalization if you wanted to personalize your website based on the persona of the person. So if they're a Shakespeare person, all the imagery on the website is Shakespeare and talks about that sort of stuff. Then you have your builders. So we have analytics, which is reporting and intelligence, journey builder, which we're going to get into in a second, content builder, where you can organize all your content, and then audience builder, how you can curate your audiences and things like that inside the system. Then we have our sort of platform tools. So we've got AI in here with Einstein. As Mike mentioned at the beginning, there's lots of apps that you can incorporate with Salesforce. Here's where you can access that. And then also some just general platform tools. So if we jump into the journey, we're in Journey Builder now, and we can see we've got a whole bunch of journeys here that we've built already. We've got guest journeys by ticket type, by ticket purchase, today's arrival. So sending that email of today's shows that says, hey, here's where to park and when to show up. We've got some acknowledgement letters in here. We've got a date night journey, maybe for folks that have come before with kids, and we want to offer them up a date night package with dinner or something like that. But we're going to go into the performing arts subscription launch here, which is a little bit more of a complicated journey, but I think properly illustrates we talked earlier about wrestling with data. And I think this is a good example of how you can automate a lot of things where you're not wrestling with email anymore. You're sort of setting it and then letting it go. So first thing here is we've got our data extension. That's where the data is coming in. So as people meet this criteria or enter into the journey, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna look at Einstein's send time optimization, which uses AI to deliver emails when people are most likely to open them at an individual basis. So if Mike Brown, because he's on the West Coast, opens up his emails later in the day, and I open mine up early because I'm on the East Coast, Mike's gonna get his at 5 p.m. and I'm gonna get mine at 5 a.m., for example. And that's gonna deliver this email. So this Performing Arts subscriber launch, we're going to go into in a second. This is an email using dynamic content, is the first email. So we're talking about our classical series and our pop series and our Shakespeare series and our family series in this email. Then based on what they click on inside of that email, do they click on to learn more about pops or classical or whatever? We can then follow up if they don't purchase with a specific email about that segment. So if I clicked on classical but didn't buy, the next email I get is about the classical subscription or the pop subscription or Shakespeare, so on and so forth. And then if they don't buy again, we bring them back up and we do a generic subscriber email, and then we sort of continue down that path to, again, you build all this out in the front side and you let this run, and you will dramatically increase your engagement and revenue. We've seen it time and time again with organizations. And once they purchase, they're out of the journey and they stop getting emails on this particular journey, but they could get different emails about other things that are going on in the organization. So if we start to look at the email, we're going to go over here in the email builder, and we're going to look at this performing arts subscriber email that I had at the very beginning of the journey. So we're going to go in and look at the content. And in here, you can see that this says your seat awaits. So we've got an unforgettable music and drama subscribe today. But if we click on this image, we can see that it says dynamic content. So if we've identified someone as their interest equals symphony or classical, they get this image. If we can identify that someone is interested in pops, they get that image. Or families, they get the Home Alone in concert, which I highly recommend. It's awesome. Or if you're like Alex, you get the Shakespeare image, and we're able to dynamically change these images based off their content. So then down at the bottom, we can also do an image carousel, so we make sure that everyone has proper representation, right? We still are talking about classical and pops and families, so we're not going too far. We're able to pull people back out and see all the things that we're offering. We can also customize headers and footers with all of your logos and socials and all of that. So hopefully that helps start to paint a picture of how the data can start with ticketing. It can come into Salesforce. We can start using that data for segmentation, for cultivation, and how we can start taking action on that data in real time with Marketing Cloud. So with that, I'm going to turn it back to Wendy to bring us home.
Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate everybody's time today to take part with this webinar. We've given you a lot of information. I know we've got some questions coming in. Hopefully you understand how we sort of take advantage of large implementations with our customers and how we can offer additional value through our partners and connectors. And we'd like to kind of wrap it up, I think, with, do we have one more poll for you?
We do. We have another
We got one more poll. Fantastic.
So let's launch that. And it's a couple more rating scale questions. And I'm actually going to pull 2 winners to close out today's session while everybody's responding to the poll.
After the poll, there was a question in the Q&A that I answered, but I'd love for TJ to speak to the transfer of customer data.
Yeah, that's a good question. So you can set the connector to bring back, you can do it as you can bring back historical data into Salesforce as part of the connector. So kind of set a date. It could be all time as long as you've been using Showware, or if you want to do it on a go forward basis. So that is configurable as part of the implementation.
Super. So with that, the results have been shared for the last poll, but I do have Johari Modlin as winner number 4. And to close out the session, we also have winner number 5, Mickey McKay. So congrats to both of you.
Congrats, Mickey.
There are a couple more questions that I wouldn't mind taking a crack at. So Rose had a question about, does Showware integrate with NPSP? So yes, it integrates with both NPSP and Nonprofit Cloud. So both nonprofit platforms are supported with the integration. The comments credit. So Chelsea, that's a good question. We'll have to look at the actual mapping. If it doesn't come in, we've been working really closely with the Showware team. It shouldn't be a problem to bring that in.
Absolutely. If it's not already there, we can, that's an easy fix. Yeah.
Yeah. And the last two sort of fall in the same bucket around costs and do contracts change? So there are obviously a couple different components of this, right? There's the Showware component of it, which if you have questions about the Showware side of it, please follow up with Wendy. If you have questions about the integration, I can talk to it, and Salesforce. So the cost for all of this, it really depends, right? There's lots of different options inside the Salesforce ecosystem and contacts for marketing and all that kind of stuff. How much data you want to migrate? Are we bringing data in from like a Razor's Edge or stuff like that, or is it already there and we're just connecting with ticketing? So if you are interested, reach out to the folks listed on the screen. So hopefully we've got the swim lanes figured out.
Yeah, excellent. There were a few other questions that were answered on the other side. Yeah, we would encourage you all to continue to send in any questions as they pop up. We will look forward to following up with all of the attendees here today. That may bring us to the end of our webinar today. Any additional questions, please let us know. We look forward to hearing from you all.
Yeah, thanks for the time.
Amazing. Thank you all very much.